Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're cutting through some of the noise around Google and its big push into artificial intelligence.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there.
Definitely. We've got sources here that paint a complex picture. You've got these mind-bending breakthroughs on one side
hmm
and some pretty critical ethical questions on the other. So our mission today, help you quickly get a handle on what's really at stake.
And what this, accelerating AI race actually means for your day-to-day digital life. Because it's
Exactly.
already more than just buzzwords, right? Forget the sci-fi stuff for a second. AI is kind of silently running things already.
Like predictive text.
Yeah, predictive text in your email, algorithms helping with medical diagnoses, all sorts of things.
Okay.
But what's really interesting now, and what our sources point to, is how Google seems to be speeding up this integration. They want to make AI, well, almost invisible, ubiquitous.
Okay, so let's unpack that. Google recently launched Gemini. That's their big generative AI model, right? Designed to compete with tools like ChatGPT.
That's the one.
And our sources are highlighting how it's quickly weaving its way into the tools you probably use every single day.
Like Gmail, Docs.
Yep. Gmail, Docs, Search, even the Android system on your phone. It feels like a really aggressive integration play.
It is. But what's fascinating, and maybe not everyone realizes, is that this isn't exactly Google's first rodeo in AI.
Yeah.
Not by a long shot.
You mean DeepMind?
Exactly. Their research arm, DeepMind. They've been making history for years. I mean, think about AlphaGo.
Right, beating the Go world champion.
Yeah,
Incredible.
incredible. It learned like a human, almost. And then AlphaFold, which basically revolutionized biology by predicting protein structures. These were problems people thought AI couldn't solve.
Wow.
And they didn't just stop at the splashy breakthroughs. They also built foundational tools, things like TensorFlow.
Which is like an open source toolkit for developers.
Sort of, yeah. An open source AI recipe book, you could say, for
Yeah.
building models. And Vertex AI, which is more of a cloud platform to help developers actually deploy AI at scale.
Mm.
So it really raises this big question, doesn't it? For a
Yeah.
company that's already so central to, well, everything digital,
Mm.
how do they approach something this foundational, this powerful?
That's a crucial point. Are they going for speed above all else? Or is there like a more cautious long-term strategy? Our sources suggest Google is positioning itself as a leader in responsible AI development.
Right, that's their term for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that includes things like making AI tools more accessible, open sourcing stuff like TensorFlow,
Using AI for social good, too, they talk about that. Climate forecasting, disaster response.
and get this, privacy features like on-device processing. So some AI tasks happen right on your phone.
Without sending data to Google servers, which is a big deal for privacy, potentially.
Definitely. Keeping your info local.
But, while that sounds commendable, this whole responsible AI thing, it gets complicated.
How so?
Well, our sources definitely highlight that Google's AI journey hasn't been smooth sailing. There's been real controversy.
Like the Timnit Gebru situation.
Exactly. The departure of a leading AI ethicist back in 2020. It stemmed from concerns about bias in large language models, and it just sparked this huge public debate.
About ethics, transparency.
Yeah, and about corporate control over these incredibly powerful technologies. Who gets to decide what's safe or biased?
And that ties into another major concern our sources raise, the monopoly issue.
Oh, absolutely.
Google already dominates search, ads, email, maps, so much of our online world.
Mm-hmm.
And now you layer AI on top of that, and its influence just expands massively.
Right. And some worry that, too much control in one place could lead to really unintended consequences, especially when AI starts generating content, filtering information.
Or even making decisions for us without much oversight.
It's a significant concern.
Yeah.
And looking ahead, Google's roadmap seems, well, incredibly ambitious.
They're embedding AI deeper into everything, aren't they?
Absolutely everything. Your inbox, your smart home devices, you name it. And that DeepMind team, they're actively chasing what's called artificial general intelligence, AGI.
AGI. So AI that could actually match human-level reasoning, problem solving across the board.
That's the goal. Essentially thinking like us, but, way faster.
Wow. That feels like we're watching sci-fi become reality in real time almost.
It kind of does. And they're not just thinking about current computing power either.
What do you mean?
Our sources mention the intersection with quantum computing.
Okay, now that is futuristic, using quantum mechanics for computation.
Yeah, harnessing those bizarre subatomic rules to do calculations at speeds that are just unimaginable today. Fusing that with AI. Well, it could unlock capabilities we can't even properly conceive of yet.
Like new drug discoveries. Or maybe truly secure communications.
Things like that, potentially. So, okay, let's bring it back. What does all this mean for you, listening right now?
Right, because on one hand, AI could be incredibly empowering, make us smarter, more efficient.
Maybe even healthier.
Yeah. But on the other hand,
On the other hand, it raises these huge, undeniable questions about control, about trust. Who manages these systems?
and what about the future of work? Creativity, our own agency, really.
It's such a dynamic landscape changing so fast.
So ultimately, this deep dive into Google's AI frontier, it isn't just about the amazing tech they can build, is it?
No, not at all. It's about who holds the keys, who controls this increasingly powerful intelligence.
And will its potential really serve everyone globally? Or does it just, amplify the power structures we already have?
And as Google keeps pushing these boundaries, I think this deep dive really reminds us that it's kind of up to all of us
To stay informed.
to stay informed, yeah, to ask the hard questions, to really engage and try to ensure that the future of AI is one we actually want to live in.
That's a powerful thought to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for tuning in.
We hope this exploration gives you plenty to consider.